Investing in real estate can be complicated, so why not get a lawyer that actually knows the ins and outs of investing? As I said, real estate, Gerry, it's overwhelming. We hear so many things and case studies in the media and everything. When it comes to your role in helping me when I'm investing, simplify that for me.
Well, as an investor in real estate, especially in today's market is very hot, and in the Hamilton area, we're having a lot of people from Toronto coming to Hamilton and purchasing properties because the price is right and there's lots of positive advertisement out there about the Hamilton market and its potential for growth. So we're having lots of investors coming from Toronto and purchasing properties. Yeah. One thing that an investor must be aware of, number one, when you purchase a property for investment purposes, a financial institution will only lend you a maximum 80% value to the property.
So we have to have 20% ready to hand over at that time.
On closing, you must have your 20% down, otherwise a financial institution will not lend you any more than 80%, number one. Number two, there's things that are involved with respect to the tenants that may be residing in the property. Are you buying a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex? First of all, in the agreement of purchase and sale, you must specifically set out what zoning the property is. If you're buying a fourplex, the agreement of purchase and sale must say that the vendor represents that they're selling a fourplex. The reason for that is because if it's only put down as a residential property, and once the lawyer does a zoning verification certificate with the municipality, it turns out that it's only a duplex, you may have 2 illegal units in the property.
We don't want that.
And you don't want that, because even though a vendor may say to you, well, nobody's ever bothered me, it's been like that for the last 10 or 15 years, the problem is if a tenant or a neighbor does complain, the municipality could potentially shut those 2 units down, which will drastically affect the income you're getting from the property.
Oh.
Or secondly, you might have to apply for a rezoning application, which could become very expensive.
So when we talk about investing in real estate, it's more of a secondary property. So when it comes to the agreement of purchase and sale, the clauses would be a lot different, would it not?
Yes, the clauses are different. I always encourage that the vendor provide a statutory declaration from the tenant confirming the tenancy agreement. What are they paying a month? Have they given last month's rent? Are the fridge and stove, washer and dryer, are they owned by the tenant or are they owned by the owner? In the event that there is an argument 6 months down the road, because you're assuming this tenant and someday they're going to be leaving, the last thing you want is they're loading up the fridge and stove and you're going, wait a minute, I thought I owned those. Now you're going back to the vendor. If you have a statutory declaration signed by the tenant, it gives you a little bit more rights towards those chattels. The other thing, I always encourage purchasers that are buying property with tenants to have a closing date of the 3rd or 4th day of the month, rather than at the end of the month. The reason being is, firstly, you get credit for your last month's rent, which will help you with the amount needed on closing. Secondly, the present vendor will collect the rent for the beginning of the month, give you the credit for the rest of the month. That gives you 3 weeks to go in, introduce yourself to the tenants. You're going to provide them with a direction that the future rent payments are made payable to you. You become a little bit more familiar with them. They're going to be less hesitant at the 1st of the next month to give you the rent check.
I love that you educate us. I just don't feel like I'm coming in here and saying, okay, I need help with this. You're explaining along the way and really making sure that we understand what the process is when it comes to investing.
I pride myself on explaining to clients and ensuring that when they walk out the door, they understand the process, they understand what they're doing, they understand why we've done what we've done. And most of my clients compliment me on that, and I have a very good ability in explaining to my clients in very simple terms the process.
Great. Well, thank you very much. If you have any real estate legal questions, you can contact Gerry through his website at gattolaw.ca. Gerry, thank you very much for all your useful information today.
My pleasure, Tracy.